Okay, 3.7, formulas and functions. What we're going to talk about today, yes, Larry? Huh? Because I wanted to. Is there an issue there? Huh? All right, now, what we're talking about today is basically this. We're talking about solving equations and formulas, okay? Now, the type of equations that we're talking about is like this. 2x plus 5 or plus y equal 5, okay? So we're talking about equations that are expressed as a function. Okay? Remember we talked about functions, I think it was in chapter 1 that we talked about functions. A function is y equal something. You know, x plus 4, y equal 2x minus 2. That was a function. We talked about input-output tables, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is, and this is leading up to the next chapter when we talk about slope and y-intercept form and some things like that. So this is just a foundation block to basically where we're headed in chapter 4. Basically how we solve this is this way. We're trying to solve for y. Okay? That's what we want to get by itself, is y. Okay? To do that, I have to take this over to the other side. The 2x has to go on the other side of the equal sign. Well, it was a positive over here, so it becomes a negative over here. Okay? And so that gives me y is equal to 5 plus a negative 2x. Now, these two terms, 5 and 2x, are not the same. So you can't put them together. Okay? And so then, as far as I can go is this. And that's it. The reason it's a minus is because you have that plus and negative. And so y equal 5 minus 2x is my answer. It is the function in y form. Okay? Now, we went a little bit more difficult. Not really, but just a few more steps. 3x plus 5y equals 7. Now, the only difference between the one we just did and this one is there is a 5 in front of the y. Okay? But the first step is still the same. Get the 3x over to the other side. Here it is a positive. Here it becomes a negative. And so that gives me 5y is equal to 7 plus negative 3x. Okay, understand that this is the same thing as, if you feel more comfortable, like I said, doing it this way, you can do that. Okay, those two cancel out, leaving me with 5y is equal to 7 minus 3x. Okay, so you get the same thing. Now, I still have to get y by itself. Okay, that has to get by itself. So I have 5 times y. So the inverse of multiplying by 5 would be to divide by 5 to both sides. But over here, I have to divide it by both terms. Okay? Now, those two cancel out, leaving me with y is equal to 7/5 plus, actually I want to subtract 3/5 x. And that's your answer. Now, the reason that I divided by 5 all the way across is because I had 3 terms. Okay? Usually when we come up against this, we would have, something like 3x equals 7. Okay? When we had equations that just had the one variable in them. Okay? Well, this one obviously has 2 variables in it. And so, normally we would have done this. And x would have been equal to 7/3. Okay? Well, because of that being there, we can't do that here. Okay? And these two are not like terms. They're not the same. So I cannot put them together. Okay? Now, I want you to try this one on your own. 2x equal negative 3y plus 10. Who has an answer? Brianna. Do what? No. You're solving for y. Who else has an answer? Zach? Okay, say it as a function. Y equal something. Okay, I'm not. All right. First things first, I'm going to rewrite this as that. It's the same exact problem. Okay? Because they want it in other words, always the form needs to be y equal something. Okay? Now, I'm going to take this over here. That gives me negative 3y equal 2x plus negative 10. Okay? Now, I'm going to take and divide by negative 3 to everything in the problem. This cancels. This gives me y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. The reason 10/3 is positive is because of those two signs right there. All right. Y over 5 minus 7 equal negative 2x. This one's actually fairly simplistic. That's plus and negative. I'm going to take it over to the other side. Becomes a y over 5 equals negative 2x plus 7. Now I have to multiply everything by 5 over 1. So I multiply by 5 here, I multiply by 5 there. Cancels over here, leaving me with y. 5 times negative 2 is what? Negative 10x. 5 times 7? And that is your answer. Okay? So all we're doing is taking an equation that has two variables in it and rewriting it in function form. All right. Look at another one. 5 times y minus 3x equals 8 minus 2x. All right, first things first. Have to distribute. And that gives me, when I distribute, 5 times y minus 5 times 3 equal 8 minus 2x. That's 3x, excuse me. And that gives me 5y minus 15x equal 8 minus 2x. Okay, I got to get the y by itself, so that means I got to take plus a negative. Negative 15x over here, that's plus a negative. That becomes a positive 15x over here. So that gives me 5y is equal to 8 plus 13x. Okay, that right there was negative 2x plus 15x. That's where I got the 13x. Now, I have a 5 in front of it, so I've got to divide by 5 to both sides in all three terms. Leave me with y is equal to 8 over 5 plus 13 fifths x. Now, I want to make sure, maybe you're not understanding how I'm coming up with the other one there. Understand that 13x over 5 is the same thing as 13 over 5 times x over 1. Okay, that's how I'm coming up with 13 over 5 times x, like that. Okay, that's how I'm coming up with that answer there. Yeah. No, you don't. So you're saying pull the 2 over to the 15x. Okay? So you have 5y plus negative 15x equal 8 plus negative 2x. Well, first of all, if you did that, that's going to be a positive 2x. So that gives you 5y plus negative 13x equal 8. Problem is they want it in y equal something form. So if you do that, then you're just going to have to turn around and take that back over there, which makes it a positive 13x. And so that's still, you got 5y equal 8 plus 13x. Yeah. And then you got to do that. So either way, you're going to come up with the same answer. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. 3 times x minus 2y equal 12 times, negative 12 times x plus 2y.